Hi there, this is Brittany with Hope Tech and welcome to lesson 2. Today we're going to do part 1 of making our first level, and today to prep for class, go ahead and just have your device ready that has ReadyMaker downloaded on it already. All right, the agenda for today is we're going to go ahead and work in ReadyMaker for a while, and then there will be some screenshots today to just monitor progress on our work. And here's the Hope Tech values: be bold, encourage, and explore. So tasks for today in ReadyMaker, we're going to make a new game. We're going to add objects and background, kind of like we did last week, to our scene. We're going to talk about physics today and do some of those adjustments in our game for our main player that we'll be controlling. We're going to be doing a control pad behavior and a jump behavior to just make our character move. And then we're going to talk about classes, which is how to categorize things in your game. And there'll be 2 screenshots to end. And as always, let me know if you have any questions. So with that, let's go ahead and hop on over to ReadyMaker. If you enjoyed today's video, you can like and subscribe down below. You can also sign up for our newsletter at HopeNLC.org. For today, we're going to start a new game. So you're going to go ahead and click that green circle up in the corner with the white plus sign to start a new game. I'm going to do landscape. Let's do landscape today for this tutorial. I'm going to go ahead and click start. There we go. So here's our game. So what we're going to do first is we're going to choose a main character that we will be moving through. So what we're going to start doing is we're going to build a platformer game where we'll have different platforms on this level. We'll put an object next week in the end for the character to get to. So let's go ahead and pick a character first. So hit that plus sign. We're going to add object from ReadyMaker's library. Let's see. Pick something fun. There's this little character in here I really like. His name is Cupcake Carl. So I'm just going to put Carl in here. Super cute little cupcake guy. All right, so after you put that character on your scene, you can close that. And so right now we just have Carl. If you play, he's just there. You can't do anything yet, but let's go ahead and start working on physics. I think I'm gonna make him just a little bit bigger. There we go. Yeah, this is the size button. This one's for rotating. Just a little recap. This is for putting layers behind or above. Duplicate and throw in the trash. It's to delete it. So let's go ahead and add some gravity to our character. So you're going to click on your character. On the left, there's those tabs. There's appearances first. Underneath that is physics. So we're going to click on physics there. And you'll see that it says active and it's switched to off. So you're going to just click on that or touch it and it's going to click it to on. So all these different things that you can kind of mess with in the physics here. So we are going to make the mass, we're going to keep it 1 kilogram. We're going to make the drag around 10%. Angular drag will be about 13-ish. Gravity on. The other thing we're going to do is lock the rotation. Unless you want it to be able to bounce and kind of spin around, you can do that too. But I'm going to lock the rotation on Cupcake Carl here. So you should have active on, mass 1 kilogram, drag 10%, angular drag about 13%. Lock rotation on and gravity on. For that, let's go ahead and click off to the side here to close that dialog, that little box there, and hit play. Gravity's working, so that's great. My little Cupcake Carl just kind of flies off the edge there. So let's go ahead and put a platform in for him to stand on. I'm going to start him over here on the left side, maybe kind of in the middle there. So let's bring in an object to put in as a little platform. So let's add an object from here. I'm going to X out my search up here. Go to basic shapes and just go ahead and pick, just to start off, let's go ahead and do a line. Put a line in there, but we can't see it. So to help with the contrast between objects and our background, let's go ahead and put a color on our background here. So we're going to go to that library again. We're going to go to backgrounds down here. Let's do a color background for now. You can always change it later. So I'm going to do something that contrasts the pink and the blue. You just want to be able to see stuff. And that line is white. So I think I'm gonna do like sunshiny yellow color. So that way I can see, you can see the line is there. So that way you can kind of see everything that's happening in your game. Definitely change it later. So now I have the line here. So let's go ahead and make it so that we can use it as a platform. You can go to Appearance. Let's go ahead and rotate this. So in Dimensions down here, the third tab over, if you do that 90 degrees, it'll make it flat. You want solid to be on, you want the layer to be the scene, and you want the collider to be a box and the collider to be active. Now here's another fun thing you can do is you can tint your bar. The yellow and the white still, there's contrast, but it's not a lot. So I'm gonna tint it. So this is where you can change the color of your platform here. I'll do like a fun blue color. Teal, there we go. All right, there we go. We have our platform. And now you can like make it bigger or smaller. You can do that here with these arrows, or you can do it in the appearance. And this first one, you can play with these dimensions here. Let's try to do 2 and 2. But you can do whatever you want. So this is our first platform. So if we play Cupcake Carl, it just floats down through the bottom. But if we select this platform here, or this line, put it so that he can stand on it, there we go. Great. So you just want to test that. Go ahead and make sure that your character that you picked can stand on your line and doesn't fall through. All right, so let's make it so that our character, we can move it with some controls. So the way we're gonna do that is you're gonna click on that character or tap on it, and we are gonna go to behaviors, which is the third tab down on the left here. You're gonna click on add behavior, and we're gonna do a control pad. So you're gonna just click that and drag it over here. X out that window there. All right, so let's go ahead and customize this a little bit. Speed should be at about 3. It's at 2.5. Let's get it like 3.1 is fine. So we're not going to do all directions. I can show you why. The reason we're not going to do all directions is because then he just flies. We're going to make this one so that it's like a typical platformer game, like Mario Brothers or something, where you jump and the gravity actually works differently. So go back to the behavior. So instead of doing all directions on this second option here, we're going to do left and right. We want to turn physics on. And this is where default controls, you can choose what you'd like to do. I'm going to do WASD, so then it's actually A and D. A is left and D is right. You can also do the arrows. And if you're on a phone or a tablet, you're just going to be using this here to go left and right, the little controller. You can actually touch that and move things around. So. All right, so we just want to make sure physics is on, always visible is on, touch anywhere is on, the joystick is active, and you can change the color of your joystick if you want. If I wanted it to be like red, I guess it's pink. I can make it pink, and then it'll show up better. So let's just go over what we did in here. So speed about 3, directions left and right, physics on, always visible, touch anywhere is on, joystick active on, and you can change the color. So after that, you can go ahead and click off to the side, hit play, and you should be able to use whatever keys, or you can either drag this left and right, or use the keys to move left and right. So just go ahead and test that really quick and make sure that is working. Okay, so let's go ahead and make our character Just give it some jumping abilities. Because right now we can go left and right. There's no way for us to jump. So that is another behavior. So you're going to click on your character again. Go to behavior again. You see at the very top, it says add behavior. It's a big green button. You're going to click on that. And if you scroll down a little bit, there's a behavior called jump. It's this one right here. So you're going to click that and drop it and drag new behavior here. Close out this window. All right, and this is where you can pick the height and you can adjust it. You can pick what button, if you're on a computer, you want it to be. There's also, it's going to be the same as the other controller where it's going to have a place to touch to jump over on the right. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this space bar. Button active. And then I have the colors. Instead of trying to guess what color, if you want them the same, one thing that you can do is go back down here in the joystick color. There's this color hex code. You can actually copy and paste that into the other up here in the jump button. So I'm just gonna paste that here. And now they're the same color. So we don't have to guess. It's kind of nice. So let's go ahead and click out of here, and I have spacebar's jump. So I'm gonna try to jump. Nice, it jumps, but barely. I'm gonna try to jump and go left, jump and go right. So I'm gonna make it so that Carl here can jump a little bit higher. So I'm gonna click on Cupcake Carl, go to behavior, and at jump height, I'm gonna just max that out at 100. Let's see how that works. There we go. That's much better. He has nowhere to go. You just like drift off into space there. So let's make some more of these platforms. But one thing that we're gonna do is make a class to put these platforms in. And basically what that does is it will lump all these different lines and different shapes we use as platforms together. And that makes it easier for writing events. So I'll show you that in a minute. But first let's, we can click on, let's click on this line that we're using as a platform. Over on the left and all these tabs, in the very bottom is like a little bucket and it says classes. So you're gonna click on that all the way in the left bottom corner. And you'll see there's create new class, edit classes, and then there's none. So none is just an object that is not in a class. So we have this line selected. So right now it is not in a class. We want to make a class to put it in. So you're going to click create new class at the top. It says my object, but I'm going to call it platforms, because these will be all the platforms that Carl is going to jump on to get to the end here. So I'm just going to hit enter, click on, okay, here, save class. So now we have this platforms class. We can duplicate this, which is if you click on the line next to the trash can, that's a duplicate button. You can also bring in other objects. If you go into basic shapes, there's some pretty fun stuff. You can do like bring in dotted lines. Let's bring in simple. Triangle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into appearance on my one line. I'm going to copy the hex code. I'm going to just paste it into these other objects. Appearance. So you just hit tint, and then you paste that color hex code in there. So this line, I'm going to do the same thing I did with the other lines in an appearance. Up here in dimensions, I'm going to rotate this 90 degrees. So I'm just put 90. And then you can go ahead and just build out a little world here, your level. All right, so we made that classes, that class for platforms here. Now we're gonna go ahead and add all these other objects for Cupcake Carl to stand and jump and walk around on and put them in that class. So you're gonna click on each one, each object, go to classes and put it in platforms. All right, there we go. Let me just show you really quick. You don't have to do this. You can just stay here on this page. What that does. So when we go to choose an object, we can choose any of the one platforms here, each like individual platform, or we can pick all the platforms together if we wanted something to happen when like consistently when Carl hits a platform or jumps off of a platform or something. That's why you would do that. So you wouldn't have to do all these different, like a different line of code for each single platform. You can kind of lump them all together. So it's really nice for later on. All right, so let's go ahead and test this thing out. Let's go ahead and hit play. And then you want to test, like, I don't know if Carl can jump high enough to get on these platforms and things. Oh, it can double jump. There you go. It doesn't fit under there. And I think that the collider for this triangle is a box. So let's go ahead and after you test that out, if there's anything to fix, just go ahead and fix it. So to fix colliders and things like that, like this circle should have a circle collider, not a box, because then it's outlining a box that Carl can't touch. If you want it to be a circle, you go into appearance, go into collider. So this is a box. I'm going to make it circle. Let's see what this triangle is. I think it's a box also. Let's make this one a polygon, see if that works. I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to start higher. Shorten this platform here. So 1.97, let's do 1.5. All right, and then there's a little, I'm gonna go ahead and test it again, see how this works. Nice, now I can fit underneath there. Now this is a circle. Great, everything seems to work okay. And that's all we have to work on our first level today. Next week, we're gonna go ahead and put an object somewhere to kind of like collect, or when it touches, it will like finish that level off. And then we can start working on another level to connect this one too. We'll also talk about effects next week. So for now, let's go ahead and save these games and then we'll talk about screenshots really quick. So I'm gonna just go ahead and you can edit the cover. You can do whatever you want here. Just put that, save. For the name, let's just call this level 1. Because what we're gonna have to do is do essentially different games for different levels, and we're gonna have to write codes to connect those all together. So if we just call them by their level and the number, makes it easier to do that later. Go ahead and hit save down there, this little floppy disk.